All right, today we're gonna plant the seeds to two different plants. The first plant I'm gonna start today is the zinnia. Now the zinnias germinate pretty quickly, so that's why I've waited this long to start to seed them. Now, as before, and I've taught you in class for many, many years, zinnia is the name of the plant. It goes on one side of the label, and on the other side of the label is the variety, and this is Benari's Giant Mix. All right, so we take our seed pack and, as I've instructed many times, cut it right below the bottom of the circle in the park seed. That way we don't get into any of the seeds. Now this is our white board, I call it, or white paper, and this makes it very easy to see the seeds. So you can see the zinnia seeds are very large. So I'm going to take one seed and place it in each cell. As I put it in, I'm going to tuck it down to fingernail depth. And this is going to press down a little bit. Come back and continue. Just do the same thing over and over, fingernail depth. And then you'll notice the potting soil is pushing down a little bit. That's fine. Now these seeds are large enough where we can grab them, or I can grab them with my fingers. Once in a while, this is the towel method where you wet a towel and just dampen the end of your finger, and you would be able to pick up the seed that way also. A lot of times we have some real small seeds in class, and I know you guys have a tough time trying to plant them. So these are large enough, but either way, one seed at a time per square. Now, the next question is, how do I know where I stopped and where I didn't seed? Well, by pressing these down, it makes it so you can see what we did seed and what we didn't. So we continue to do it, and this is time consuming, and usually it takes about one period per tray per student. And again, these are pretty large. So these are zinnia seeds. Now we're gonna do the tomato seeds. Now this tomato, and we have a lot of tomatoes in here, but this variety is the patio. Now the patio variety stays smaller, and it's actually made for containers. So we will hopefully show you that later on, transplanting that. But this is a small tomato. So again, the patio tomato plant. Take the package, again, cut it right at the bottom of the circle there. These seeds are definitely smaller. Tomato seeds
look like the seeds inside of the tomato.
Yeah, that's exactly it. A lot of people just take their tomatoes and plant them, and they will get tomato plants. The thing is, after years, they don't stand as strong.
Hold on.
Now,
I can't find it. All right, there you are. Go ahead.
I have the seed. Same thing. Plant it in the middle. Push it down, fingernail depth. Now these are harder for me to pick up, so I'm using the wet towel to dampen my finger. That seed attaches. Push it in, nice.
You don't have to bury it?
Well, what's gonna happen is, once we do all these, I'm gonna take this whole tray and this tray back over to our potting table, and what I call topping it. We're just gonna take a little bit of the potting soil, because now that we have these depressions here, I have a little bit more room. When you plant seeds, you really don't want to have more than about 1 inch of potting soil on top of it. All right, too much soil will keep it from germinating. And again, when seeds start to grow, for the first 24 hours, these are going to absorb water. Seeds are like a sponge, and what's going to happen is they're going to absorb water, and then they will begin to break the seed coat, and then eventually, now I got 2 on my finger there, and this happens, and this is what happens in class a lot of times. That's why we did that thinning out in the earlier lesson, because you do get in there and you get 2 in there, and this is tough when you're doing seed after seed. Again, there's 2, so we're splitting them, and it's not the end of the world. If you get 2 seeds in there, when these come up, the seedlings, we just thin them out. But the more cautious we are now, the better later. So we have now seeded both the zinnia and the patio tomato seeds. They've been placed in each cell and pressed in. So now we are going to take these trays over to our potting table. Now that I have the trays over here on the potting table, what I'm going to do is take a small scoop of potting soil and place it right on top of the tray and the seeds we planted. And I'm just going to gently cover
Every cell.
all these cells, not packing it in, just to give it
Cover.
a little bit to hold the moisture. Again, they're going to suck up water for the first 24 hours. And so that's there, nice. Take
Sorry.
about a half a...
Oops, sorry if I move that too fast.
Okay.
No, not for you, for people watching. Make them dizzy.
All right. I'm sure you're doing a great job.
Oh, sure.
Now, I'm taking, again, this potting soil. This is, now I call it topping in my class, but you may call it something else, but just putting a little bit of potting soil right on top. Again, you don't want much more than about 1/8 of an inch of soil on top of your seeds. Too much will keep them from germinating. And I'm used to doing this pretty much, so I know about how much. So now that these have been covered, we're going to take these over to the misting table. Now these trays are on the misting table, and what we're going to do is give them light mist, continuous, so they do not dry out. This will be for at least a week before they start to germinate. The trays that you see here have plants that have germinated. We have all different types on here, but this is what hopefully we will see in a week or so. So, and with that fine mist, the trays will get water, sunlight, 3 things they need for germination. Heat, greenhouse is heated, plus the sunlight, water, and sunlight. And that's what we're going to give them.